Hello everyone, this is Sunil Nair, and I am basically posting videos on employment and labor law. Basically, I am from Code IR background, and today I will be sharing some views in about IR, industrial relation, employee relation in an organization, and its benefits. And if you like my video, kindly give a thumbs up. See, during my work with different companies with different clients across pan India basis, I have seen that many companies are doing cost cutting. And what they really are doing is they are not understanding the regulations of labor law. They are trying to just do cost cutting and appoint the same legal team or the HR team with disciplinary matters, IR matters to handle with, which is a very big wrong thing according to me, because labor law, employment law is a very vast subject with different acts. A person specific in that skill knowledge should be appointed in a separate department, has a IR and employment law in your organization, respective organization. The reason is because employment lawyer, employment person, whoever you're appointing, or IR person you're appointing in your organization for the specific role of connected to labor law, he will be well acquainted how to handle disciplinary matters. He will be well acquainted how to handle statutory bodies, labor officers. He will be well acquainted how to deal with police officers. He will be well acquainted how to handle panchayats, unions, external unions, political unions as well. I'm speaking because IR persons are well versed in that. So IR person, when I say, you will be confused what background he should be. He should be a HR background or legal background. I will say a person who are acquainted in both. He should have the skill of a legal and a brain of an HR, because this will add benefit to the role of an IR person, employment relation person, whoever you are appointing. Because not necessarily a HR person is a very full-fledged person in the role of IR. Neither a legal person you are appointing will be a full-fledged in that particular domain. So what you have to see is a person who has requisite skill in IR professional alone, IR and employment relation alone, who knows how to handle disciplinary matters. What is disciplinary authority? What are the roles of disciplinary authority? How a disciplinary notice put forth before disciplinary authority? What is the role of inquiry officer? How to handle IR issues, if in union issues? How to settle it? Wage agreements. If there is a we can say a grievance of an contract laborer and principal employer, how to handle it, how to tackle it, how should one respond, how can he coordinate. The best person is that he should be a very good with his tongue, the quality of tongue, how well he can handle, how well he can manage, how smart he is to handle the situations in a drastic very well acquainted manner. Basically, most of the companies today, I'm seeing most of the top companies, they are just appointing legal person and HR person, and what they're doing is that they're asking them to handle IR issues, because which basically they are not acquainted with. Because HR people are good, they may be having knowledge in the IR practice, but it is limited. A legal person will be having knowledge of the IR, but it will be limited unless and until they go deep into it. They should know if a termination is coming, where to look. They should know if a subsistence allowance is given to a person, where to look, where to find out. Doesn't mean that you must be having today a very good means all-rounder, that is Google, to search with, but that is not the case, because Google can search for you, but it can't give you brains to think. When in IR issues, you need brains, a brain which Google can't give, no person can give, and neither a computer can give. You need a person who thinks out of the box thinker. He is a top priority IR person according to me. And basically many companies are avoiding that. They're just seeing the cost cutting, which you shouldn't do at all, because this cost cutting will ruin your long run investment in the company. Because when the labor liabilities or labor compliance goes wrong, you not only ruin your organization reputation, but also business as well. Because because I have seen companies going wrong and getting published in newspaper, say this is what they're doing. then it gives a very wrong image in front of others. If it's a listed company, the shares goes down just because of one wrong information. So definitely I will ask all the persons, HR persons, or whoever is seeing this video, if you are appointing someone in an organization for handling labor issues, you please appoint a person qualified employment lawyer who is doing core into IR practice. He is into employment and labor law itself. He may be a lawyer, he may be an HR person, but the first instance you should ask him about these relevant questions. Now, if you may be asking me what are relevant questions that you should ask him, the first relevant question will be how many IR issues he has handled. Second, how he resolved it, how the disciplinary note was made, when a show cause notice will be issued, differences between a show cause notice and a charge sheet. These pointers will give some of the basic thing that how much that person is acquainted with these acts. If in Payment of Wages Act, what does it says about deduction and anything? Under which section? Because these are the basic things that you should know. IR issues is handled by under which, how many acts attract IR issues. These are all the things that one person should ask to an IR person. Is he good in drafting? That is one more major point, because he should be able to draft a show cause notice, the absenteeism letter, a PIP. He should be able to draft a disciplinary note well. He should be able to present it. He should be well acquainted how to put or stand before a counseling officer, before labor office, how to put those facts before him. And he should be very good mediator as well. So basically, I am making this video only to make people understand today in this HR fraternity as well, and to all the companies, you should go for a IR and industrial employment officer instead of going for a specific HR person domain or domain from a legal background, because they both will not do no good to you. Try a mixture of both, or a person who is just doing core into IR. Basically, I'm making this video, and I guess this is a little dull video because there is some light issues over here. So basically, I guess I'm just sharing a knowledge and my voice is audible. So I guess this knowledge will is enough to just give you a basic idea why in an organization IR persons are more required. Not just HR. There should be a separate department of IR and employment law who will be working with HR department and legal department together, because he will be getting inputs from the HR department. He will be taking some legal things from the legal department, and then accordingly he will be putting or analyzing his ideas and putting notes or analyzing different way outs for a company, because this will help a company in the long run. I hope this suffice, and I'm making this video short so that everyone understands the basic principle why IR and employment lawyer or a person should be with a separate department should be appointed in an organization, and kindly don't burden the IR or employment lawyer person with some other things also, making as a cost effective measure, because again it will ruin your organization, because employment and labor law is a very big thing, because compliance of some in labor law and employment law is like vast, right from the small to big. Every industry has compliance under labor law, and if a proper person is not appointed in that particular area, it will literally ruin you. I hope this suffice, and if you like my video, kindly give me a thumbs up. Thanks for the same.